And would you allow us to spend?
How much do you need?
We could go for a while.
Yeah.
10 minutes.
50, 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, just whatever you guys need to answer. Any questions we might have. What I'd like to do is introduce the project to you folks. As you probably are aware, we, Extell, have just closed on the Mayflower property on the mountainside, which is everything west of Highway 40. A few of you have been involved in some of the meetings we've had. I'd like to introduce our team first. Start in the back with Brooke Hans. Michael Johnson. Brooke is part of the team. Michael is a consultant that we've engaged. He was for 11 years the planner for Placer County in Lake Tahoe. So he brings a wealth of experience in planning, and we thought that in this type of a project he'd be very helpful. So we engaged him. Van Haymar has been with us from the beginning, and most of you know Van. He was the original Blue Ledge developer. I jumped over Travis Richardson. He's one of our project managers. He's construction manager. And Bert Craig is our vice president of development. And Pete, you know who I am. What I'd like to say is Gary Burnett is single owner of Extell. It's a company, large resort developer, and our large commercial developer in Manhattan. I knew Gary, I think I first met Gary about 18 years ago. He was one of the original developers that came to do Tupé. Gary came out from New York, and he was one of the original developers of Tupé. He was a partner with the owner of Talsco, Jack Fisher, and things didn't go the way they wanted to go. So Gary asked Jack to buy him out, which he did. And Gary went back and did his thing in Manhattan. Stayed in touch with Gary over the years, and he was always interested in the area, always curious about what was going on, kept an eye on what was happening out here. And periodically we have a conversation, and he made it known to me that he wanted to come back. The right opportunity presented itself. That right opportunity came with Van when he purchased the Bay Key property, which is now the Blue Ledge property, and it sits right now between Pioche and Mayflower. So Gary came out. He liked the deal. He made the deal, and then Van and myself and Brooke became representatives of Extell in Utah. As time went on, Gary is the word I want to use is he gathers property, he compiles things, and that's what we've been doing for the last 2 years, working on the Mayflower. It's taken about 2 years. We finally closed it. A lot of folks didn't think we were going to do it. We finally closed it on November the 2nd this past year, and as a result of that, here we are. So I don't want to take a lot of time. Van is going to go through, we have a PowerPoint, which you have a hard copy of, and I'm going to let Van take it from here, and then any questions that you guys want to ask or would like to entertain from the audience, we'll be glad to try to answer them. Thanks.
Is there someone else controlling this, or do I have control of it here?
You got it.
Okay, perfect. Leroy's already introduced the team again. My name's Van Haymar, and I know many of the people in the room and on the council, and we have been waiting for this time for many years as we've taken Blue Ledge through the process, and then now with the acquisition of Mayflower closing, we feel like what I believe most people in the room recognize is, we all love living in the valley. I've lived in Heber for the past 17 years, raised my family here, but that's a really exciting jewel of this county that, because it abuts up to Deer Valley, has just amazing potential. And we hope that the benefits of that development will absolutely be a benefit to the county as a whole. I want to finish a couple things. Leroy started. Gary Barnett, he solely owns Extell. We've been amazed at how he acquired Blue Ledge, has allowed us to grow a team here that we feel is really solid and has the ability to grow more and partner with the county in making this a reality. One of the biggest issues with a piece of property this large is having the financial resources to put in the infrastructure, build all of the ski improvements, come up with substantial means up front before you're ever going to start to see any profit come out of this development. We hope that it will be very profitable, but that usually happens in later phases when you're talking about an 8 to 10 phase project that's going to happen over 20 to 30 years. And I think it's important that you know that, and we'd always encourage you to do your own homework, but we really feel like Extell is one of very few partners that has those resources and has the ability to execute on the plans that we put together. And this won't be a huge effort of working on plans that really are intended for somebody to flip the property. That's how some people make money. But I think you'll find with Extell that Gary is a developer and he fully anticipates developing out this project. On the screen, if you can read it, you know, Extell between 1989 and a few years ago, they had completed and sold about $10 billion in product, mostly in the Manhattan downtown area. Today, Extell has an additional $10 billion under various stages of vertical development right now in projects. So they have grown substantially and have great access to capital, and we feel like that's an important thing to bring to bear here in this development, especially in the early stages. Leroy had mentioned, so this, Kirk, just hit.
You got it.
Oh, good. A little video here. This gives you an idea of everything that has been acquired. I'll point to some things real quick. I've tried to stop it before and it doesn't work great. So this is the whole village area you're seeing right there. The old mine area will be converted. It will be environmentally remediated and turned into a day skier parking area. All of the runs, again, village area. You can see where the Deer Valley runs stop. All of the runs will be continued down to the village area below. We aren't at the stage right now where we're going to begin working with the county on refining the plan, but I can tell you that our intentions are to leave the mountain and the ski as pristine as we can and really only have the ski interface, and our development remain much lower down than some other developments have gone up the mountain. Again, we'll be clearing, grubbing runs and designing that with Wasatch County involved. It's just a spectacular piece of property.
And are you going to continue using the ski master plan that Deer Valley came up with?
We absolutely are. We've been working really closely with Deer Valley and SE Group, who is the designer that Deer Valley utilizes. They've been involved in the entire process and really have driven the process. We give little input here and there on ideas that we think might interface better with the residential and city village area, but we absolutely will take direction from Deer Valley, the county, and SE Group as we finalize that plan, but it's changed very little from what was produced about 3 years ago, and so we'll keep working in that way. And again, as part of the next steps for us, working with the county on that ski plan will be critical. I know a lot of people may know this. This is for the people that maybe aren't skiers. That would be the best way to say it. That aren't skiers. This is just an unbelievable location. For people who ski and have flown into Vail before and then started a 2.5-hour trek to get to Vail to be able to ski. And it's the same thing with many of the top ski destinations throughout the United States. And to be able to land anywhere, people come in from New York, they're large key cities that most of the skiers that are destination skiers come from. And our airport services 80 direct flights a day from all of those main airports that the skiers come from. And to be 45 minutes away from actually landing at the site, does anyone, the other skiers, is there anywhere with a better scenario than that?
To go along with that, there's really no stoplights between you and the airport, right?
You're right.
That's a direct shot.
About 35 minutes, 35-minute drive. So that is a significant benefit that we have. Another one that is important as far as transportation goes is we've got the Heber Airport here. And living here, I'm one that doesn't mind seeing the cool planes fly in, but within reason I know that we're always going to have Salt Lake International with its expansion happening. And in addition to that, we've got Heber, that there's a small percentage of people, when you build a community like we're planning on building, obviously one of the goals is how high can we sell lots and homes for, and what's the tax impact to the county or the benefit to the county with very few services required by those people. And when you're selling some of these things, these people have jets, and it's a huge benefit to have the Heber Airport that close, and another amenity. This is the ski plan that we were talking about, Steve, which SE Group and Deer Valley have been involved in every bit of this. But you can see where the Deer Valley ski currently ends, and we actually own a portion of that and lease that ski terrain to Deer Valley, which we'll continue to do. But we'll expand that lease, and we're working with them right now. Not only Deer Valley, but KSL and the Crown family who just purchased Deer Valley. We have a good relationship with them. They've been back to New York to meet with us, and they've also come out and toured the entire site with us, and we feel like we have the full support of KSL. You know, they went from a family-owned Deer Valley business to a larger investment entity buying that, and we actually feel like the growth plan, working with Bob Wheaton and the Deer Valley people we've always worked with, combined with Extell and their resources and desire to see expansions like this happen, we feel like that was a positive. That was a positive for us. And all of this ski terrain will add about over 300 acres of cleared and grubbed ski runs at Deer Valley, 8 new lifts, and a cabriolet that takes you from the parking area, that's the Mayflower mine area, up about 100-foot rise. It won't be a long cabriolet, but the parking will be down low. No, you see your handshake really bad. The cabriolet down low in the mine area, and then you rise up about 100 feet on a short cabriolet ride, and it drops in the village. And in the coming, I would say, months, we'll be excited to come in and do some update presentations. We've already done significant work on the village area and the residential lots around it, but we want to work with the county for a while internally before we start displaying those things. But we have made good progress, and one of our next important steps with the county is to begin that process. And tomorrow we start a cadence of specific meetings where we begin to work with the current application that's in. When we purchased Mayflower, we took over a pending application, and we feel like in the meetings that we've already had and as we move forward, the county will be very pleased with the amendments and changes that we work with the county planning to come up with a solution that is attractive for the county. And ultimately, our goal with the county is for everybody to be able to sit back and say, okay, this group together absolutely has come up with the highest and best use for this property. And that does not mean that we max out the density. It means that we balance the ski and the commercial, the residential. There are so many different components to balance, and we feel like we have the right people internally. We know that the county, our experience with Doug and his planning group has been great, and our initial meetings with council members are that everybody has the same objective. It'll be a complex process, but we're looking forward to getting started on that. Gives you an idea of some of the conceptual renderings for the pieces of property. One of the most important things about this development is things like this are no longer just ski. You can't sell the product, you can't keep the energy there unless it's a year-round seasonal, four-season development. And we know that Doug has a lot of focus on that, and everything from the mountain biking to the hiking to tying into the incredible fly fishing in the area. But another big one is events, and bringing not only people just to the village, but bringing people that will come and eat in the restaurants in this area, which we're always adding new, better things. This community is growing a lot, and it was attractive enough to my family to move here 17 years ago, and whenever we have people come and visit from out of town, they love the Heber Valley. It has unique things to it that feel very different from when you're in Park City. But we're also going to be the beneficiaries of everything that's in Park City as well. I mean, this region has so much to offer, and we will focus not just on the ski, but on developing all of the four season amenities. We will fall on the Mayflower acquisition. We fall into the J-Spa guidelines. We are aware of those and have been through those very closely, and look forward to starting the process of working with the county on the J-Spa and how this development fits into it and meets within the different requirements. We're also going to probably be a little different and push the county to, and we'll do this through our research, where we say, we've got the entire county, you've got the J-Spa specialty planned area, and we want to be the leaders. When it comes to ski villages, this is a blank palette that most people never see anything like this. And we hope that as we come up with options that maybe haven't been done in the county, but they make a lot of sense. And obviously everyone will need to come to agreement on that, and we'll need to make our case well, but we feel like there will be things that aren't in the J-Spa right now that need to be looked at. And some will make sense, some may not, but everybody will have a chance to make their case, and we'll work together for the best solution. The mining pictures, we absolutely, as you can tell with the name Blue Ledge, we didn't, we didn't pick the Mayflower name. We know there's history around the Mayflower mine, but there have also been a lot of negative things that have happened over the years. And while we'll respect that, I do think that Blue Ledge, which is the mining district for the whole area, is also one of the names that we're looking at. But we want to respect the mining heritage, not only through some really unique things. I've already talked to Ron about, we'd love to work with them on finding some of the really amazing relics that are down in the tunnels that we can do as a motif in certain areas with pictures and actual pieces of history, and really support that in the area. We think that there's a place for it, and that, it's really, I think everybody's tried to do that across the board, and we will stick with that. I may have spoken ahead of where I was. I think in the end, our purpose really today was to come in and tell you that we are excited to start this process. I'm seeing people in the audience that I know and have seen before, but police and fire and other things that emergency services, that those are responsibilities that we absolutely know that we will bear a big share of that. And we want you to know up front that we are open and willing to not only doing absolutely our part as it relates to all of those services that are provided, but we had a meeting earlier today about really looking for specific ways within the county. And Ryan just mentioned that he has someone that wants to meet with us, because we want to look for ways that we can invest in the community. And we are a large developer. You can't speak out of both sides and say we have vast resources without saying we want to, and we would encourage people that have ideas to approach myself or Leroy about really good things in the community that Extell can be doing to show that this isn't us coming in and just wanting to take and make profits. We feel like we ultimately definitely want to be profitable in this. But one of the best ways that'll happen is if from the very beginning, this is a team effort. You know that we're committed and that we're putting skin in the game to benefit the community. And we look forward to getting to know different individuals who represent key stakeholders. You'll reach out to us, and we're ready to get started. So thank you.
Any questions for Van?
Mr. Chairman, I got a question for him. But going back to your comment on taxes, the benefits for the county. Just curious, you've been doing some master planning, and you have a current application that's been in, and you're modifying that a little bit. But just based on what you're going to develop here, have you done any projections on the valuation of the entire project? I'm just curious to see if it was $1 billion, or see what the taxes might be for the county once it's built out.
Yeah, I have. Kurt, I'm looking to Kurt.
Share that with us.
I can share some really simple things. When I say this, you don't want to get in my head about all that stuff, but a commitment of a minimum of 1,000 residential units, a fair share of those being condominiums, a couple 100,000 square feet of commercial that would support a village area, at least a couple of pure hotel sites. My calculations, it's, I think conservatively, $3 billion in for sale product. On the high end, taking into account the increases over time of, price per square foot, because this isn't just one building in time. I could easily see it being $5 billion over the course of the development. But again, Absolutely. Please get this on camera. Those are my, I've been doing this for 7 years now, and I started doing it just on Blue Ledge and extrapolated it out. But I actually feel like whenever I do my little runs, I'm pretty conservative in my assumptions.
So currently, what is our valuation in the county? $3 billion?
It's just under 5.
Under $5 billion?
About 4 point.
So it's almost doubling the valuation of our county if we were to take a look at it at today's current value.
And when you say that right off with the little spot that we cover, I think there's some history with Deercrest that people can get a little bit of a picture of how much a development like that can drop in taxes to the county and how little it takes from the county. If you took a price per square foot in the county for real estate, our projections for today, if we had a building completed today and we're selling condominium units on the ski beach with the ski improvements done, we're at $1,200 a square foot. So, and that's built to a 5-star standard, beautiful condominiums, but I almost have to tell you that when I say a $3 to $5 billion number, because in the county, with everything that's here, it's probably $100, $150 a square foot, the things that are in the county. So
Very good.
that's where these valuations come from.
And most of them are second homes too, so that benefits us.
Yes.
As well.
Higher tax rate. But you say that. One of the things we're going to be pushing for is this doesn't exist, and a village is very different than a Deercrest, where if those beds are cold and the people only show up 2 weeks out of the year, it really doesn't impact things that much. Deer Valley probably wishes they had more lift ticket sales and those were rented out, but a lot of people don't put those in the system. That's why many of these units, they're either going to be hotel beds that are turning over every 3 to 5 days so that we have hot bodies there that are re-exploring the new, there's 5 restaurants, so they want to go eat at all of them. And that's an important component of having this be successful. And a large portion of the homes, they need to be homes that are in a system where we're turning them over and they're rentable so that we're bringing business there. Thank you. Sorry, I think that's it.
Other questions for them?
So just on the Extell website, I looked at the portfolio for the Blue Ledge and Deer Valley that's listed on the Extell webpage. The first 2 phases in the Blue Ledge Deer Valley project will include 95 ski-in, ski-out luxury residential condominiums. The condominiums will be located above a vibrant commercial core, located on a 3 acres secluded ski beach within a 60,000 square foot commercial core. Blue Ledge residents and Deer Valley patrons will have convenient access to Deer Valley signature cafes, indoor-outdoor bar, and exceptional seasonal retail. That's how you guys are selling it.
Yeah, and that's actually the small.
That's just the first.
That's Blue Ledge. Kind of our discussion here in the video was Mayflower. Yeah, Kirk, you